Welcome at the Worldport Hackathon in Rotterdam at the RDM-werf. My name is Dol van Dijvenbode. I'm a journalist from the Netherlands, Rotterdam. And I have as my guest Erwin Rademaker and Paul Smits. Welcome both.
Welcome.
The cowboy and the manager, I heard.
That's what we need to be told.
And you are responsible for challenge number 3, which, let me quote the last sentence, I thought it was very interesting. The challenge is that we things want to be smarter. We want to share, we want to see the future. Please help us. How can we make things smarter?
Well, that implies that things aren't that smart yet. So if you address that to infrastructure, we have a lot of infrastructure in the port that is, so to speak, very dumb, because it can be made very much more smarter if we attach all kind of sensors to it, to that infrastructure, and let that infrastructure communicate with vessels or cars or trains or whatever transportation modes. So actually what we want to do, I think, Paul, is that we want to make the port smarter, and we want to be the smartest port in the world by adding intelligence to infrastructure to enable to make processes more efficient and future-proof.
So it means that we are not there yet. We are developing, but what are ports in the world which you look at or which you cooperate with that you think they are on a level which we want to achieve, Paul?
I think there's not one unique port who is the best in these kind of things. I think across the board we are doing pretty well, I would say, but definitely we can learn from other ports around the world. Like in Singapore, there are a number of teams here present from Singapore. They have very good cooperation with the government and with university. So in that respect, they're doing better than we are. In other aspects, we are doing much better than they are. Also, if you look at the port of Gothenburg, for example, in Sweden, they have a very good innovative crew there who is thinking of new concepts. And also in Hamburg, a bit closer to home, they have an IT director as the port director at the moment. So he's making concepts to make the traffic through the city flow more easily by means of IT. So that's another example of how you can make the port smarter.
And is it also that you attract young people from IT businesses or from other branches which maybe 15 years ago the port didn't even think of that?
Absolutely, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
What you see now is more than 100 people from IT communities, which are certainly not only looking at ports but also looking at other sectors. But I believe that we can learn a lot from other sectors. If you look at retail, banking, for example, but also social media and communication, they have done these things before. Logistics is a sector which is, I believe, a little bit behind with respect to, for example, retail. If I order a package in the Netherlands, I get it delivered the next day or even the same day in the evening. And that is still not possible with logistics. You can follow, for example, if you have a rack of t-shirts, you call that an SKU of t-shirts in China, and you want to have them in, let's say, Dortmund, then it's not possible yet to see how that SKU of t-shirts is transported via, let's say, inland China through Shanghai, then to Singapore, from that on to Rotterdam, from then on the train, for example, to Dortmund. And you cannot track that SKU of t-shirts. And that will be very much possible in the future. It will all be transparent.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, if you look at our business, which is accommodating and mooring ships in the ports, if you look at the ship industry compared with the automotive sector, with the self-driving cars, and even in like the metro system in London or New York, there isn't a driver on the trains no more. And so we see all sorts of trends coming from other branches or other industries that will affect the port sooner or later, and will affect the shipping industry as well.
And is it because you mentioned that you saw the group working on your challenge, and it was very interesting because we sat here and Edwin saw the people working on it, and you said they were quite fast already in their way of thinking. What is there? Of course, they can win the first prize. That's nice. But what is the most important thing for them to gain here?
I think that they will bring in the knowledge of what is happening, now in other industries and other like inventions or IT possibilities. But I think the crucial factor is to see how it applicates to business cases or use cases within the port. And one of the challenges I think they have is to get all the information from the experts, because if you look at a port is a very complex how do you say it, environment. There are a lot of actors playing around, and if you don't look at it as a total, and you might miss the missing link or the crucial piece of information that will enable other processes or other users to get to a higher level.
But is it sometimes, because I can also imagine that sometimes for you yourself, maybe it feels that it goes too fast for you to comprehend it. Is that...
Are you addressing my age now?
No.
Or is?
Maybe. No, but because there are so many developments, but
oh, yeah.
at the same time we're all human beings, and there is maybe a boundary at what to comprehend at the same time.
Yeah, I think that looking at the challenges that are ahead of us, and I think you addressed it very beautifully in your last column, is that we can't do it on our own. We have to get into partnerships with industry leaders or just the biggest leaders in the port in their sector to take the next step. I think that's crucial.
Cooperation, I definitely agree with
yeah.
you. So I wouldn't say that things are going too fast. Most people that I speak to at least have very bright ideas of how the future should look like, but the problem is they don't know who to cooperate with or who to talk to make it realistic, to make that reality. So what we try to do here is to bring those new, young, enthusiastic people, not always young, there are 50 years old people who are participating in the hackathon, but to bring them into contact with that complex environment that they don't know, so that they can have access to people and to knowledge, so that they can bring their competencies and their creations to that environment. And both of them will benefit. The established community will benefit because they will learn new things. The newcomers will benefit because they get access to a market that would otherwise be unattainable for them.
Yeah. What do you hope for these coming days?
Well, that my team will win.
Yeah.
Of course. It's. I think that it's sharing knowledge, and I get a lot of positive energy from young people and work with young people. So I'm happy. I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
I'm already happy because I feel I have already won, because there are more than 100 people here, 25 teams from I think 6 different countries.
Yeah, amazing.
It's the 4th edition already. We started with 30 guys 3 years ago in a much smaller room. So if you see the development of this event, it's been fantastic.
Yeah, you really feel the energy. You feel the vibe of working, and you hear the brains rattling. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much.
Okay. Welcome.
Smits.
Thank you.
Erwin Rademaker.
Okay,
Thank you. Have fun today,
Thank
and
you.
see you in a bit with our 5th guest, I think.